Italy. They eat really well in Italy. Everybody I know, every time I go to Italy, everybody's eating really well. 11% obesity. United States, triple that. 33%. Triple. Spoiler alert, the reason why Americans are fat is because we don't eat real food. We eat processed food. In fact, Americans get 55% of their calories from ultra-processed food. And what is in ultra-processed food? Garbage, poison, things that your body isn't supposed to have in it, like seed oils and all kinds of chemicals, preservatives.
Why is it in there?
What? Yeah, hey, call me a dreamy optimist if you will, but I want my food in my pantry to be waiting around for my great-grandchildren and their great-grandchildren to enjoy.
Yeah,
right?
in the zombie apocalypse, that'll come in handy.
And I mean, if that ultra-processed food is made out of mostly plastic, I would only hope that by then they'd come up with a way to make my great-grandchildren out of plastic.
They are going to make them out of plastic.
Here's a news report covering this.
New data released by the CDC shows an alarming nutrition reality for many kids and teens. While overall, we're eating less ultra-processed foods, they still make up more than 50% of the total calories we consume, a number that's even higher for children 18 years old and younger. To help us understand what this means, I'm joined by CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder. Thank you so much for taking the time today. So,
did they just come from a Diddy white party?
Well, their clothes are still very white, so probably not.
Or maybe they're going to one after.
Yeah, they're probably going after.
What does this study tell us about our consumption of ultra-processed foods?
So the CDC study found that the average American adult gets more than half of their calories from ultra-processed foods, and it's even higher for kids and teens, over 60%. And what are some of the common foods that are driving this? Sandwiches, which actually surprised me.
Yeah, me too.
Baked goods, snacks, and sodas, sugary beverages. So,
yeah, lunch meat, not good for you. First of all, the bread isn't really bread. In France, it would be considered cake. So
you don't like cake sandwiches?
They put seed oil in your bread. They have seed oil that have high fructose corn syrup. It's in your bread. Bread should have three. Bread should have three ingredients, right? Flour, yeast, water. What else do you put in bread?
Well, it's subsidized. It's how fluoride, they had this extra runoff fluoride that they decided to just put in the water for some reason. That's what they do with fructose corn syrup. That's Warren Buffett who makes that money.
Get a loaf of bread and look at the ingredients. It should be 3 ingredients long. There's 40. So here we go.
The key thing to get across here is this is not...
And by the way, the lunch meat, no good. Turns out lunch meat, it's full of nitrates or something. I forget. I read an article about it recently. It's horrible for you. Lunch meat, not good. It increases colon cancer. Processed meat, that's called... So lunch meats are processed meats. That's different than eating a steak or a piece of chicken. When you have lunch meat, that meat has been highly processed and loaded with chemicals.
Not just about looking good and losing weight to fit into that dress. This actually has very real health impacts. So in addition to obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, stroke, kidney disease, cancer, the list goes on and on.
Well, and we've had discussions before. I'm going to out myself. I do consume ultra-processed foods in the form of energy drinks. I mean, if we know it's so bad for us, why do so many of us continue to do it?
Look, these are foods that are cheap. They're convenient. You can find them everywhere. And on top of that, they're engineered to be addictive with the salt, sugar, fat, and also certain sensory tricks like how those chips sound or how something smells. And so it's really meant to hijack the part of your brain that craves certain foods.
And I just want to go back to the health piece of what the majority of eating unprocessed foods, because you talked a little bit about some of the things like cardiovascular disease, but dive a little bit more into the weight piece of it.
So there was a recent study out of the UK looking at people who had a diet of ultra-processed foods. It was improved to help them lose weight versus people who were having largely whole foods, homemade foods. And what they found is both groups did lose weight, but the group that was getting the homemade foods lost twice as much. And so what this really tells us is it's not just about the nutrients, because the nutrients, the vitamins, the proteins, the fiber were the same, actually. But it's that the processing itself is driving some of the weight gain.
That's fascinating, because you would think, okay,
So during COVID, we couldn't go out to restaurants, and I don't like to eat fast food. So I would make dinner every day. So I would have a couple of eggs for breakfast, no lunch, and then I'd make dinner. And I would make dinner home cooked. It would either be a Kobe beef hamburger, or it'd be an organic chicken, or it'd be pasta that came from Italy, so it doesn't have glyphosate on it. So, or it would be a salad. I'd always make Caesar salads. So these were not processed foods. And I was as thin as I've ever been since I was 20 years old. I was down to like 155 pounds. I was very thin. When I moved to LA, I was over 200. So that was just from cooking real food every day. And it's very similar to the real jokes I tell. That you could come see me in Rutherford, New Jersey, Manhattan at the Village Underground in New York, or Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, or how about in Appleton, Wisconsin, Chicago, Louisville, and Fort Wayne, Indiana. Come see me there. Go to jimmydore.com. But let's listen to the rest of this.
Nutrients might be different. I'll definitely be thinking about that and trying to do more of this. I mean, look, the obvious, can anything be done here?
Well, the FDA...
Can anything be done? Can anything be done? I mean, I'm not... Can anything... I just have to keep reaching for a snack that has no expiration date on it. Because they don't know when it's going to... What's that?
Hope for democracy, I guess.
Isn't that something? I'm going to grab a snack that has no expiration date on it because they don't know when it's going to go bad. I want to be well preserved. So here is more.
Has been considering new labeling guidelines, front of package, that would say low, medium, high for salt, sugar, and fat. So those are the key things you want to be paying attention to. We're also about...
those actually aren't the key things you want to pay attention to. She's wrong. Those aren't the key things you want to pay attention to. So you want to pay attention to seed oils. You want to pay attention to the chemicals they're putting in, the lectins, and all that garbage. Fructose.
Be getting new dietary guidance from the USDA as well as HHS, so stay tuned for that this fall. And then big picture, when you yourself are going to the store shopping, focus on whole foods. If the ingredients sound like a chemistry set, it's probably not good for you.
That doesn't sound good for my energy drink addiction, Dr. Gounder. Thank you, even though that's sad news.
That is funny that you're eating garbage and you know it. Isn't that funny? I'm eating garbage. And I know it.
I got to get to work.
Yeah. The United States has a high obesity rate compared to many other countries, particularly those in Europe. While the United States doesn't have the highest obesity rate globally, it has significantly higher rates than most other wealthy nations. Many United States have obesity rates exceeding 30%, with some surpassing 40%. While most European countries have rates below 25%. Well, that's because in Europe, they built the roads, 500 years ago, so now everybody has to walk.
Well, I think it's also they flooded in about a lot of lean, fit Syrian immigrants as well.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
Your Sargons of Akkads is the standard body type.
The U.S. obesity rate... by state in 2024. So the darker the purple, the more obese they are. So look at that, 40%. What state is that? Is that West Virginia? What is that? Was that Kentucky? What is this state here?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Kentucky.
California, 27%.
I think it's Kentucky because Ohio's right there.
Yeah. So this is Indiana, Illinois, Ohio. Look at that.
Nice.
Okay. That is Kentucky.
Just a bunch of gingers stuffed full of fructose out there.
The U.S. adult obesity rate has increased substantially, placing it among the highest in the developed world. Many European countries have significantly lower rates, with some nations in Southern and Western Europe reporting levels under 15%. Wow.
Well, it sucks that exercising is far right now.
It is.
Probably should do it.
U.S. obesity levels are particularly severe. Share of adults who self-report obesity in selected OECD countries. The United States, way up there, 33.8%. Look at down here, you got Italy at 11%. And that's, what is that? Is that Korea? Of course, Korea. But Italy, they eat really well in Italy. Everybody I know, every time I go to Italy, everybody's eating really well. 11% obesity. United States, triple that. 33%. Triple.
Yeah, it's like bad casino cafeteria food, like where you get a sledge card for the casino to go get the spirit-breaking food of the casino. Not the one the seller's at, it was great. The Tropicana had the greatest buffet, but the ones for like employees and a lot of like your Foxwoods and your, Mohegans and what have you.
I think it's because our gross national product is actually gross.
Yeah, well, they'll give you Ozempic.
So there you have it. That's why Americans are fat. We're still eating ultra-processed foods. And they're still going to try and scare you about salt and fat. Don't let them do that.
And they're going to tell you it's racist not to eat Oreos, which they have done. Remember Obama appointed that chick to say it was racist? Because this stuff kills black people and brown people first before it even gets to you. So Nabisco, they paid for whoever Biden appointed to the don't eat too much sugar lady job. And she said, no, it's racist to say don't eat that. It's racist. That's like 2 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Look, this whole country should be a podcast. I'm not kidding. It should be. It's sponsored, and you got to talk about your sponsor good, no matter what.
I'll see you on tour in Rutherford, New Jersey, Manhattan, New York, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Appleton, Wisconsin, Chicago, Louisville, and Fort Wayne. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Come see us on tour in Rutherford, New Jersey, New York, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Chicago, Louisville, Kentucky, and Fort Wayne, Indiana. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.